luck today because it's very windy, so I'm not sure how much the camera will pick up. I have Hengroen with me, the best boy. I'm going to be doing some Liberty work with him today for you guys to see, which he's been doing really good at. I'm teaching him a few new commands, and the main one is come to, which is when/if he breaks away and loses concentration, he runs off. I just start calling him back to me saying come to, so that every time he hears come to, that means draw back to me. I'm going to start him off by just lunging him in a couple circles, just warming him up a bit. I'm going to start with a walk. I might do a little bit of trotting, and then we'll move on to the Liberty work. So, send him off. Very immediate. Very drawn back there. The other horses are over there. Gotta keep his attention there. Good boy. We got a little lost there. Good boy. Oh, okay. So you see in these two corners, he loses his focus, tries to wander off. I kind of cut on me there. I put the ball in my hat. Good boy. Stop. That was really good, actually. I'm going to come a little bit closer again. Here. So I decided to stop him going in that direction then because he finally gave up trying to walk away in that corner and actually stayed with me that time. Again, I gotta do it in the other direction now. See if he can do it as well that way. Most horses struggle with that direction. See how it goes. Good boy. Okay. We got a little speed. Get a little fight speed. Okay. I'm not even gonna pull this rope. Behind him. Stop. Good boy. Good boy. Even though he was trotting, his head turned towards me. That was actually really nice, and I didn't ask him to trot, but he did really good keeping himself pointed in my direction and paying attention to me that time. That was really nice. So I'm going to do a little bit of trotting in both directions now. Same thing goes for, I'm just going to keep doing it until he can remember to keep his focus centered on me, and then we'll work on some of the cues. I'm working on it in halter right now just because he's learning, so he might try to walk off with it. And then we will go to the Liberty. So, back, 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 up. Hey, trot. Good boy. You get yourself there. Trot. So he's kind of keeping the rope taut. I'm going to give it a little bit of a pull, remind him who he's trotting around. Good boy. So he turned and looked at me there while trotting, so I decided to give that to him. That was very good. I'm going to go to the other direction. So wait, so you can see how quick he is to respond. Just watch this. Trot. Trot. Oh. No, he doesn't do it while I'm telling you to do that. You're pulling there around him with me. Trot. Trot. Good boy. Good boy. That was beautiful. Stop. That was really beautiful right there. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. And the reason I look so hard for that is when it will come to the Liberty, is he's going to, that looking out, he's just going to walk off. He's not going to try to stay in a circle. So I want to heavily reward it when he's trotting around me and he bends his head and like literally looks me in the eye while he's trotting. That's just a beautiful thing to me. It means he's really connected at that point. Good boy. Alright, so that was really nice. He's still a little distracted because Calypso's over there. She's a mare. He's a stallion. But we're going to do so. Trying to see which direction. I'm going to do it from this direction for you to see, but I'm working on pivoting right now with the hind end and the forehand. So I'm using the whip currently for the Liberty part at least. Once I start riding him, it'll be with my foot and stuff. But it's good getting him used to the feel because I'm doing it in the similar area that I would when I'm going to be on his back. So I tighten what I'm doing. I'm going to start with the hind end. So I make sure the rope is nice and tight where he can't turn his shoulders much. And I just tap on his flank with the whip and then say hind. So my command is hind. So good boy. And that's perfect right there. I just wait until he can shift his hindquarters over. Nice step. Keep his front feet in place, which he did really good that time. And I'm just going to stop. That will be my reward for him. You know, pressure and release. And then work on it on the other side. Once he's better at it, I'll move forward into more steps. So, that was a little step. Really little step, but I gave it to him because he was a little confused there. He tried to step his front end. But I held through until he moved his hind end over. So since I use voice commands, I'm going to try not to talk while I'm cueing him and just say what I'm cueing him, and then I'll explain afterwards. So I can also, when I'm cueing him, bend his neck over this way. Hind. 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 It was a very tiny step, but you got a little itch. Again. Good boy. That was a really, really nice one. Good boy. Good boy. So turning that head will help do it into it. Especially like a riding. That's how. Good boy. That was really good too. That was immediate. I barely touched him with the whip. So I'm going to call that done with the hind right there. So hind for the moving the hind end. And then when I'm doing a shoulder, it's forward. His forehand. So I can make my rope a little longer for this one. It's a little harder for him to figure out, as is with all horses. It's easier for them to shift the weight on their hindquarters than it is on their front end. But he's pretty good at it because he's always been more apt to shift his front end than his hind end, which I'm really great. So I'm gonna try to draw his attention back. Good boy. Now. 4. I'm going to put my hand this way. 4. Good. I don't really want him to try to walk off. That wasn't perfect. I want him to just completely lean his weight back on his hind end and shift his front end over. So, 4. 4. 4. That was one step, but he moved the hind end. He's still not leaning back on his hindquarters as much as I'd like him to. So, 4. Okay. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. Good. One little step, then I'll take it. Look on the other side. 4. Good boy. So, again. 4. That was really good right there. Good boy. Again, it was a really small step, but it was good. Again. 4. If you guys just walk forward like that, it is back up. Good boy. So that's not what I'm at. Good boy. So, I'm going to stand a little bit here to block that forward motion for him. 1 tiny step. Okay. boy, that one was perfect. Good boy. Very quick learner. Yeah. Alright, I think I'll let that pass for that, just because that's a lot of thinking for his baby brain. So, very windy. I'm going to take his halter off and work on some things. Not sure how much you're going to hear me if I'm running around the arena, but I'm going to work on just lunging him around me like I was doing earlier, but at Liberty with no halter on. I'll still have the whip for reminders, and I'll probably have the halter in my hands too, but nothing will be on him. It'll just be like a mental halter, hopefully. And if he runs off, you'll see me working on the come to, but again, I really don't know how much you'll hear. Still very connected, thankfully. So I'm going to just walk around in a couple circles and have him follow me first. Okay. Hey. Hey, Greg. Hey. Come to. He always comes around at this corner, so I wait. Good boy. Good boy. So, what I do when he walks off is I kind of make it like, not a nice place for him when he does. So that's why I use the whip, smack my leg, making some whistling noises in the air. Especially when he runs to the gate in that corner, because that's where he tends to go. And then when he does start turning towards me and coming to me, that's when I just start praising him immediately. So I want him to know that being with me is a great, comfortable place where he can sit here and yawn and put his head down. Whereas running off is kind of like, not as nice. Alright, I'm going to do a little bit of a walk again and see if he follows along again. That was much better. See if you can come along this way again. Good boy. You got a little stuck there, but it came right back. You're supposed to nay. Had to listen to it. Alright, so I'm going to do a little bit of lunging. Probably still working on it. He's probably going to do a little bit of running around again. So. Good boy. That was a good circle. Kind of got a little far over there, so he came back. So, good boy. Good boy. Let's see if he gets lost over in this corner again. Good boy. Good boy. That was nice. That was really good. He looks like he has an attitude. I can't tell if that's him concentrating or if he's annoyed that he has to be here with me when he wants to be over there with them. Probably the latter. I'm going to try to see if I can get him to do bigger circles. And then we'll work on a bit of trotting. but he really looks like he just wants to fall asleep right now. Over with the whip a little bit. Good boy. Hey, hey. Good boy. Good job. Good boy. Get him off again. Good boy. Okay. Good boy. Good job. Good boy. Good boy. So you can stay with me over here. Good boy. That was really nice. You got to do 2 circles around that time without wandering off. Good boy. We'll have a bit of a rest here for a minute. Good boy. This is a lot for a baby to be thinking about, so I'm grateful for what I can get. Oh, it's time to go in the other direction. Back. 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 Boy. Boy. Stay with me. Walk. Good boy. So this is a nice bigger circle clap. Let's do it, girl. Good boy. Boy. It's a windy day. There's horses over there. Stallion, baby. Make sensation. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy, Hengroen. If you want a second circle. Good boy. That was really good. Good boy. Stop. Those little nippies are a habit of his. So I don't think I've showed you guys, but I'm gonna work on just do a little bit of this real quick before we work on trotting. Is heart cue. So I did a lot of this at the clinic when I was there with him. It's just basically Park is asking to stand still while I walk around him. He doesn't have to follow me. While I do want him to follow me, I also want to be able to influence his mind to stay put sometimes. So it's really useful for times when you want him to stand for a photo, or you want to stand him for being groomed, and you don't want to tie a horse or anything like that. I tie him, but that's also really useful for that. So, Park. Now, if he tries to come to me, I want to stop him. Because I've told him, I've given him clear command to park, and he knows what that means. So that's why I'm going to quickly get at him if he steps towards me right there. So I'm going to try it again. Park. Park. Good boy. So that was better. So that was really good. You can see he kept track of me as I went all the way around him through his blind spot and everything. So he still got his mind with me, but he also knows I've told him stay in this one spot. Don't move your feet. So I'm going to do it the other way now. Park. 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 So a good way to help with this is to, now it's parking, is to keep his head from following you so much, because where the head could Park, hey. So, he's trying to block me there. Come to. Come to. Good boy. I do not want him to block me from that side. That's the side every horse worries about. Kind of funny. Come to. Good boy. See, he's still blocking me. He's doing some pretty heavy blocking there. Come to. Hengroen. Come to. Boy, come to. It doesn't slow down. Hey. Boy. Doesn't slow down. I'm gonna go and block him. Yeah. Boy. Come to. Hengroen. Good boy. You almost did it there. Come on, run it out. Come to, Hengroen. Hey, take that very John to this corner here. Let me look out right there. Very drawn to that corner, so I want to discourage him from going in there all the time. Good boy. He's looking at me, but he's not coming. Gonna wait. Come to. Hengroen. Come to. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Well, let him catch his breath here for a minute. Had to get some energy out, I suppose. So all that came just from him blocking me so hard on this other side. I want, he's still trying to block me. I want to be able to stand over here without him giving me a problem like that. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. I'm going to see if I can go back to doing what I was doing. I'm not going to stop just because of what that happened there. So, hard. Hard. Good boy. Good boy. That was a lot better. I walked the wrong closer to him, which helped. Could have been. But he didn't follow me. He blocked a lot before I could get to him. Park. Park. Okay, let's head this way. Good boy. Park. Park. Come to. Hengroen. Come to. Come to. Good boy. Good boy. Don't want to stop. Yes. Come right. Come to. Come to. What? Come to. Hengroen. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. That time he let me onto this side. Did you see that? Good boy. He turned his head and let me go onto that side. Now don't block me. Good boy. Well, I've learned there's not going to be anything different about this side than there is on that side. You will be just fine. You guys can walk around it. I didn't tell him, Clark, so I'm not going to get mad at him when he steps away. I just want to see if I can walk around him a little bit. Clark. Good boy. I told him park the second time. Don't want him to chew on this stuff. That was better. Now I want to see if I can do at least a small circle around him, and then we'll move off so that this doesn't get exhausted. Park. Hey, hey. That's no block. Park. Shh. Shh. Hey there. Come through. Come through. Good boy. Good boy. That's walking again. Gonna grab his nose. Check his dot that way. Good boy. We'll be able to stand here without him giving me any problems. Good boy. Boy. He's never been very worried about this side until today, so it's kind of funny. Boy. He's always, there's been a bit more hesitation when it comes to this side, but never worry that makes him run off like this, so. Good boy. Hard. Good boy. Good boy. I'm going to take that one just because it's taken so long to get there. You finally learned to stop running off like that. I want to do a little bit of trotting at liberty, but we'll see because of all that. Maybe a little more prone to run off, so we'll see how we can do it. We're going to start with a little bit of walking again. Hengroen. Yep. See? This is how I got it. So now that I started, I can't stop because I've got him to get him to stop doing it. Come down. Good boy. Good boy. So I want to praise him for coming back to me, but I also don't want to wait too long before I ask what I have now. Good boy. Good boy. That was better. That was a lot better. Bring it a little closer to the camera. Back. Back. Good boy. Oh, we'll see how he is going the other direction. It's his right side again. One. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Look at that. Put his head so far down. Good. Give him a minute here. Think about his foolish decision. Good boy. It's always good to just let them know when they're there with you. That's a good spot for them to be in. His mind is with you right now. I always want to just give him reassurance that it's the best place to be in this scenario. Alright, we're going to do a tiny bit of trotting. We did use up a lot of energy running around here like spaz, so we'll see how it goes. That was amazing. You didn't even second guess it. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. hugs. That was really good. I'm going to see how I can do on the right side, and then we will call it quits for today because he's done a lot. Which is good because he's fat. Alright. Good boy. Good boy. That was so good. Good boy. You can't chew on that. That was great. Alright. Come over here to the camera. I don't know how much of that you heard, but hopefully most of it. Halter back on. Looks like he wants to fall asleep. Alright, so that was today's Liberty session with Hengroen, working on his ability to stay with me mentally, just like a little invisible rope almost connected to us so that he doesn't keep trying to run off like so. But in the end, being able to trot those two around me, again, keeping his head turned towards me, that was beautiful. Absolutely. There's nothing more special than that when you are working Liberty with a horse. It's just beautiful. I can't wait to see him loping circles around me with his head bent towards me. But, yeah, that was today's session. Thank you guys so much for watching.